Welcome to our custom space where dreams take flight. Where positive visions come to life.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Custom Carving and Epoxy UK, and I hope you're all doing well. And I'll be honest, I wasn't going to do a Froggy Friday this week. I was really busy with work and I didn't feel like doing it. But I got an amazing delivery from Laura's Art Corner with lots of really cool products that I just wanted to try and see what happens. So firstly, Laura, thank you for sending me the products that you have. You shouldn't have. And check her out as well, Laura's Art Corner, if you're in the States. But this is going to be just a bit of fun with a frog, as usual. So I've already got the resin in the mixer and I've already picked out some eyes. So the first things first, let's get those eyes in those cavities. So I'm going to use some UV resin and I'm just going to put a dot of it in the eye cavity, as always. And that's all you need, a tiny little dot. I've already put a line on the opposite side of these eyes so I know which way round they are when they're actually in the frog mold, as you can see. So now I'm just going to put it in there, position it in. I'm using my finger because that's the way I normally do it. Don't have my tweezers to hand. And as long as they're roughly in the right position like that, I can just maneuver it around. And in about 1 minute, you're going to hear a beep because I've put the resin in the debubbler already. And I just want to make sure that it's in that eye cavity and it's roughly going to be the same sort of direction. Then I'm just going to use my UV torch and give it a quick cure. Simple as that. 5-10 seconds probably, either side. And that should then just secure that eye in there. Then we're going to get to the fun part in a minute. I'm going to have to give this a quick wipe afterwards because something's gone in it. But as you can see, the eye's in there, in the cavity, and hopefully it's in the direction I want. So I'm just going to do the same on the other side. Again, just the tiniest of drops of UV. You don't need a lot for this. You just need the tiniest of drops. And that should be enough to just secure that eye in there while you do the rest of the frog. And I want to make sure that it's not only in that cavity, but they're facing the right direction. And I don't think these are far off, but I'm not completely happy. There, that looks better. And if you can just see, I'm trying to give you the camera angle, they're roughly going the same way, which should mean once everything's cured, the eyes will go the same way as well. Now, because I don't want this to mess up, and I've got quite a messy workstation at the minute, so I apologise for that. But it's just been really busy, and I've not had a chance to tidy around. I've been making sure that I've been getting the projects out, and that's been more important to me than how clean is my workspace. But I am going to give this a wipe because I don't want to ruin any effect that we might get, because I've got a few different ideas with a few of these products. And that should be my resin done, which is good. So, first thing I'm going to do is just wipe out the back or the side of this frog, I suppose you'd call it. And make sure there's no bits in there that I don't want. Because, as I said, I don't want to spoil the effect if it works. And with resin, we all know it's always an if. But touch wood, with a frog, I've never had any issues with the end result. So, a few different products, few different ideas in one frog is the plan. So I got this magic silver powder from Laura, and look at that colour. It is pure silver. So the plan is I'm going to almost try and paint a design with the silver. And I think I'm also going to paint the design with some of this blueberry sparkle, which I think is a tiny glitter or a chameleon. In fact, that's a glitter. So again, but look at the sparkle on that. So I'm kind of changing my mind now. So I'm going to use glitter in the resin, that pot. And then she's also sent me this candy apple blossom mica. And look at that. That looks like a beautiful red. So the plan is that's going to go in the resin. This one, which is the chameleon pigment, the blue ocean, and the silver, I'm going to try and paint a bit of a design in, just on the back, nowhere else, so that we still get a mixed look. And what I'm going to be using is I've got some micro brushes that I actually got in another Happy Mail. So I think that was a lady called Paula. So thank you, Paula. And I'm going to see if I can paint a reasonably detailed design in before we add the resin and almost give us two completely different looks. So I'm going to start off with this silver because I really want to see what it looks like. And I'm just going to start off in the toes, but I don't know if you can see that sparkle on the camera, but it is a stunning colour. So the plan is to do these toes first of all in this. And then I think I'm going to try and put a bit of a design just on the back. And I'm not the most artistic of people. I'll be the first one to admit it. But the plan is I'm just going to get some of this silver. Hopefully I'm in shot on the end of this little micro brush. And I'm going to put it in the toes. And we're hopefully going to get nice little silver toes. Silver sparkly toes. And I'm loving this colour. But again, I couldn't resist, I was feeling a little bit, I'd say overwhelmed, I think today, you'd probably say, just with the fact that I've had a really busy week at work with the lives, with YouTube, and I thought I wasn't going to do one. And then I got back, I got this huge parcel from Laura, and I couldn't not do one. And I'm just trying to burnish this in as well at the same time. And this is sparkling like nothing I've ever seen in silver. So I'm loving this, Laura, if you're watching. And I'm just going to try and be a little bit artsy-fartsy and get it in the areas of the mould that I want. And again, this is kind of a combination of painting the mould with this mica. And then there's going to be an element of pouring as well. So we're almost hopefully going to get two separate effects. But this silver is gorgeous. And I think it's fast going to be one of my favourite silvers. So I might have to order some more of this from you, Laura. And that's just from the first impression. It really, really gives you like a liquid silver look, which is so hard to find in a mica. And I'm hoping it stays looking like that once the resin's cured. But I'll say it's my first time playing with these products as well. So we're all going to find out together, essentially. But I just thought this would be a fun way to do a frog for Froggy Friday and see what we come out with, I love experimenting with frogs, as most of you know. And again, big shout out to everybody that does Froggy Fridays. You guys are inspirational with the amount of different ideas and makes we make with just this one mould, which takes 4 ounces. It is absolutely amazing how many different ideas all of the artists come up with every single week. So I'll put the playlist in the description as well. Make sure you go and you watch all of them. Every week there's different ideas and really creative artists. I think it was originally set up by Karen over at the Dragon's Den. Girl in the Garage got involved as well. We've got Lula now. We've got Gert. We've got Tim, Bass Resonator. So Lula's from Nerd Goblin Art, Gert is from Gert Creates, but there's loads of other artists every single week now, and it's become so popular, it's very hard to actually get a time slot to do a premiere. But I decided I was going to do one just because of all these amazing products that came through from Laura, and I couldn't not. And I'm loving this silver, really am, guys. And you're going to see what else I'm going to be doing with this in a minute, hopefully. Now, it's not the easiest to sort of paint onto a mould. They never are. But I think it should work. The idea I've got, anyway. Which we'll come to in a second. And do me a favour, if it's your first time to the channel, or if you're a regular viewer that hasn't subscribed, just like and subscribe to the channel. You don't know how much of a difference that makes to creators. It lets YouTube know that hopefully you like the content, and it thinks about sharing it with other people. And that's the only way that we can grow. So if you can do that for me, I'll put the QR code just up there. Point your cameras at the screen if you're watching on the telly, and subscribe. So that is the first stage pretty much done. I'm not done with the silver yet though. And I just want to show you this. Look at that sparkle. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't think I've seen a silver sparkle quite like that yet. And that's why I'm not done with it yet. So the idea now is I'm going to get 2 of these out so I don't have to keep cleaning it in between, because that'll be a right pain. So I almost want to layer this in the center onto that mold. So that's the silver. And then I'm going to go in with some of this chameleon blue, which again, it's a beautiful color. And these are really big pots with these chameleon powders. In fact, I'm just going to wipe my gloves because I don't want it to go everywhere. I don't mind them intermixing a little, but I don't want them to completely go everywhere. And you'll see why in a minute. And this might not work. I'm not convinced it will, but I wanted to try it just to see if it will. So now I'm going to go in with some of this blue chameleon. And I'm going to do a ring around it. And whenever you do this, it should be the first colour that touches your mould that stays. Now, I'm not the neatest of painters, as you can probably see, especially not with these, but I still think we'll get a cool effect. I'm just going to do this a few times. And I'm hoping that it will work. And I'm just trying to burnish it as I'm going. Doesn't have to be perfect. At the end of the day, this is just about being creative and seeing what we create, you know. But I just thought a few different rings of colour first. And it is burnishing on that mould, lovely. And I'm hoping that this will continue to give us a cool design. I don't know if these rings are going to come out perfect, I'll be honest, because I'm not being that careful. I've seen some people, when they paint these moulds, are absolutely amazing, the detail they get in. And I'm a little bit more, how to say, messy when I do it. So there we go. And I've already got some of the blue there, which I didn't really want. So I am going to try and just wipe a tiny bit of it off, because I don't want it to spoil the design. I don't mind a little bit of intermixing, but here I want this to be silver. Again, I'm going to wipe around here. So hopefully we'll just get little rings of colour in that centre back part. And now what I'm going to do is try and bring it out into a bit more of a, I suppose, teardrop. And I'm not forgetting the centre of the head. And I love this silver, so I'm going to create a bit of a design using both. And I'm just tapping it around. No particular design in mind for the head. Apart from I know I want a few of each colour to almost simulate what I've done. And as you can see, I'm dropping it all over the mould. This is probably not the best way to do it, guys. But again, I just wanted these 2 different colours in there before I mix the resin up and pour that in. And it's not the easiest thing to do, trust me. And then I'm going to interlink them a little bit. So using some of the blue, just along the back. And all the way down to the tailbone. And I'm not using a lot of mica here, just enough to hopefully put a bit of a design in. And again, I don't know if this is going to work or not. First time I've attempted this. And now I'm going to go back in with some silver. And I'm just going to, again, just put a little design in. Doesn't have to be perfect. But I just want a few dots of this silver now in certain areas because I really love this silver. And I want to see what this is going to look like with the resin intermixing underneath. I suppose in a way I'm almost doing a completely different design. And I'm just doing it as I go. You know, there's no plan. And sometimes your best pieces come when they're not planned. And I still want to be able to see through to the resin underneath. So I'm also being careful because I don't want too much of it covered, because then we won't see the resin underneath. But I just thought it'd be a fun way to just put a bit of a design in and try these colours for the first time. And this silver, as I say, it is phenomenal. Then I think a bit of blue around the eyes. And I'm sorry that this isn't the most exciting video to watch, but I think the result should be good. So I'm just going to go around the eyes as well, almost outlining them, I suppose, with this blue chameleon. Trying to get a ring of it around, which is quite difficult, as you can imagine. But if you don't try, you don't get. And I'm a firm believer in trying everything at least once to see what happens. Usually I'll try things more than once in case I did it wrong the first time. So there we go. Happy with that. Now a few dots of this blue, I think, just in there. And now I think I just want a tiny drop of the silver again, right in the knees. If I can get it in the knees. So I'll look just in there. And the other side as well. And I think that's all I'll do with this mica. I just want to get enough in there to, I suppose, give us a kneecap in this silver, because I think this silver is really going to pop. And maybe in these elbows as well. Just so it's kind of uniformed across all those legs. Make it visible on the mould. And then burnishing it around. So I'm pretty happy with that. And look at those colours. Beautiful. Just in there as well. And I think that's all I want to do at this point, because I want to still be able to see the resin. In fact, I'm just looking at him from above, and I want his chin to have a little bit as well. I'm just going to put a bit of the silver around the edge of his chin as well. And if those of you that do frogs on a regular basis, you'll know that that's also where the bubbles form, so the mica might actually help them disperse. But again, just going around the mould. I don't care if I get a few little bits here and there, because I like things to not look completely neat and tidy. Because I think if they're too neat, they look fake. And don't get me wrong, I've never seen a real silver frog in real life, but I just wanted to see what happens. So I've just put a tiny bit under his chin as well of that silver. And I think that's it for the mica brushing part. So that is that. And next bit, I'm going to mix up some resin. Hopefully. It should be ready. And we're going to mix some of these others directly in with the resin. So I've got 4 ounces mixed, as you can probably tell. Now I'm going to pour a tiny bit in anyway. Just in there. And then the rest I'm going to pour into these 2 cups. And we're going to mix it into a different colour. Now I was going to put some of these gold pieces in as well, but I think it might be too much, so I'm not going to. And I've just dripped a bit of resin on there. So here we go. This is the one that I'm very excited to see. This candy apple blossom. I can't wait to see what this one looks like, because to me it looks a bit like the red chrome ones that you get from Let's Resin. So all I'm going to do is a couple of scoops of this in one of these. And then we're going to mix these. 2 scoops. They're quite heaped scoops, but I think that should be enough. And then this blueberry sparkle as well. Gorgeous colour. And I think they should complement each other, hopefully. Again, I'm going to go 2 full scoops. Now this is more of a glitter, so I might put a tiny bit more in there. And then just with the blueberry sparkle as well, I'm going to add a tiny bit of the chameleon pigment that we used as well. So it's had more of the glitter, but I'm just going to add some of that pigment as well and mix that in there. Just so it's not going to be too transparent. And then I'm going to decide what I'm going to use the rest of it for as well. But let's mix these up first and let's see what colours we get. So I'm going to go with the red first. And look at this, guys. I can already see that is going to be beautiful. That is a really rich, intense red. Not pink. That looks red to me. The question will be whether it stays red when it cures. But I'm loving that. That's one of the nicest red micas I've seen yet. So again, get yourself some. If you like the look of this, get over to Laura's Art Corner and get yourself some, because that is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. Just making sure it's all mixed around. Look at it. Wow. I'm going to be playing with this red a lot, I can tell. So I'm glad it came in a big pot. So there we go. That is that red. Beautiful, rich, vibrant. So that's that one. And now let's go for this blue mixture that I've just made up, which is obviously mainly that glitter with a tiny bit of that chameleon powder in there as well. And I think it should give us a cool effect. And I always like to intermix things, so I know some people don't. I do. I think it's part of the fun of resin. You know, look at this though. Absolutely stunning. Look at it. Wow. And as you can see, this is more transparent because it's mainly glitter. The red isn't. So hopefully we're going to get a good combination of all these colours anyway. So that is that one. So we've got red and blue. I'm not going to... Or do I? No, I'm not. I'm not going to mix that in. I think that should be enough. And then just for a little bit of contrast, I've got some alcohol ink near me. And I'm going to go with dandelion yellow and put a few drops, he says, in there. And I don't know. I've never done this before, so I don't know if it's going to look cool. I'm hoping it will. So this is that dandelion yellow. Again, it should just give us a light yellow colour, which I think will be really cool. And don't mix it round as vigorous as I am, because look, you're going to get air bubbles. But I'm not too concerned with this frog. I think they'll all come out and disperse. So now it's just how we're going to pour them. And which colours I'm going to go with first. So we've already got the mica on the mould as well, so that should give us a bit of a pattern. I'm thinking I'm going to go red, interestingly, first. Pouring that in, and that is beautiful. I love that red already. Then blue. Then a bit of the yellow. Which is pretty much clear. Then back in with the red. I don't know if we're going to get any kind of separation with this or not, or if it's all going to muddy into one colour. But if you've watched me do frogs before, you know this is one way that I love to pour. And it's just to find out what happens. The next day it should be like Christmas morning. And again, I want it filled up all the way to the top, hopefully. And I think I've left just enough in those for the feet. So again, I'm going to add all of this yellow now, he says. And we're going to see what happens. I don't know if we're going to get any kind of effect or not. And I hope I've mixed enough here. Looking a tiny bit short, which is a bit of a concern. So, front legs red or blue? I think we're going to go with blue for the front ones. And again, I'm just going to try and make sure I've got it in each of these toes as well. And this one as well. And as you can see, it all comes down into the mould. Anyway, but that should be the predominant colour in that leg now, I hope. I'm going to use red on these back ones. And again, I know it's going to slide back down, but hopefully that will still give us a cool effect. You know? And as I say, this is just a bit of fun for me. It's what's going to happen. We won't know until tomorrow. And I'm just hoping, as I say, I've got enough mixed. And it helps if you get it in your mould. Here we go. But this is a beautiful red. I'm loving it. One of the nicest reds I've seen yet. Right, let's fill these feet up as well. You really want to make sure with your frogs that these toes are filled. Because if not, they'll snap. And this, I think, is going to come out stunning. I've got no doubts just looking at these colours now. Now, I'm going to scrape my pots because I don't want to waste any resin. And it's slightly underfilled at the minute. So, in we go. Would help if I had my bigger mixing stick, but I've just cleaned it, so I don't really want to do it again. In fact, I'm going to. Let's not ruin a project by being a little bit lazy, shall we? So here's my bigger stick. I'm just going to get all of this resin coming out and into the frog. And let me know what you think is going to happen in comments. Are we going to get a cool effect or not? Simple as that. We'll know tomorrow when we demold. So there's the rest of that. I've got a tiny bit left in these, which again I really don't want to waste because these colours are stunning. And as always, let me know what you think in comments. What kind of effect, if any, are we going to get? Or is it going to be a mess? Are we going to still see those painted micas? Or not? I don't know. But this is exactly 4 ounces I've used. So, again, maybe I should have mixed up a tiny bit more, even though the mould's exactly 4 ounces. But I think we've got enough in there to get away with it. Again, just really scraping those last drops out. And that's it. And now, all we can do is leave it, come back tomorrow. Once it's cured, I'm going to tidy up a little bit. And we get to demold this for Froggy Friday. But massive thank you to Laura Usher from Laura Arts Corner for sending me these. I say, it gave me the inspiration to pour this frog tonight when I wasn't really feeling like it. But do you know what? Looking at it, I think this is going to be one of my best frogs. So thank you very much, Laura. Check out Laura's shop, Laura's Art Corner as well. Get yourself some of these. So far, they look like they're working. We'll find out at demold tomorrow. And don't forget, have a great Froggy Friday. Watch everybody's videos, and I'll see you at demold. Morning, guys, and it's the next day, and you'll have to excuse my voice. I seem to be losing it a little bit, or it's a little bit croaky, excuse the pun, but we're going to demold this frog now, and just look at this. That is stunning. I'm hoping we get something similar on the other side. And I'm expecting these toes to still be very soft. And I'm being a bit naughty as always because Impatient Andy is here. And it's only been, what, 10 hours? So I'm going to have to be extra careful as I demold, especially with these toes. And this is probably the riskiest demold I've done, with the fact that I've not waited anywhere near 24 hours. Probably half that time, but I'm going to do it. I think if I'm patient enough, I can still leave it to cure for the rest of the day, but I just want to get it demolded so I can see what it looks like. And this time I may snap off a toe, but I need to get it edited so that it can get out there for you guys to watch on Friday. So I can't really edit it unless I've demolded. So here we go. I'm just going to try and go really slowly around these toes. And you can see just how flexible they still are. I should wait. I really should. But I'm not going to. Those of you that know me know that I'm not the most patient of people when it comes to waiting for my resin to cure. And I think as long as I'm gentle, we should still be okay. Although it is quite risque. Here we go. So we've got 1 foot free, which is good. And again, trying to do the same on the other foot. And don't do this, guys. Wait the full 24 hours. Especially if you haven't got to edit it into a video. You know, because you'll just find it a lot easier and a lot less risky. And the last thing you want to do at this point, if you're going to have a cool effect, is ruin that effect by demolding a little bit too early. But as you all know, Impatient Andy is here. There we go. So that's the 2 back feet. So they're okay. Oh, look at how flexible they are. Hi, everyone. But yeah. Wow. I can already see some sparkle. Here we go. Just going to be, again, careful around these, because I don't want to break it. It's going to be okay. Look at it, how flexible it is still. You really should not be demolding this early. Here we go. Out she comes. There we go. And look at that. That looks stunning. Again, very flexible. Wow. Look at that. I am in love. That red is gorgeous. And again, so's that chameleon, that blue and that silver. Wow. You can't properly see, but it is. It's like a liquid silver. It is absolutely stunning. So there's my frog for Froggy Friday. Love these colours from Laura's Art Corner as well. Thank you very much for sending them. And that silver is something else. Really is. But I love the way he's turned out. So make sure you watch all the videos. Have a great Froggy Friday. And I'll see you all on the next one.
Welcome to our custom space where dreams take flight. Epoxy visions coming to life. It's a perfect sight. We born together, blooming 3, Resin family. Testing like us, new creations. We set the free. Join our journey, like and subscribe. This is our place. Ocean seas. Welcome to custom carving, where dreams come true. Epoxy magic flowing just for me and you. Masterpieces rising, crafted with our hands. Testing new colors,